All right, let's look at a few examples that show up when we're working with exponents and learning about the laws of exponents. Here's a few examples. Let's start with number 1. X raised to the power of 0 equals 1. This one, it's not a lot of explanation here. It's just a rule that we've all agreed on in math, that any number raised to the 0 power equals 1. So x, in this case, is a variable that can stand for any number. It's raised to the power of 0, and it equals 1. We can look at other examples, like the number 3 raised to the 0 power still equals 1. The number 17 raised to the 0 power still equals 1. Any number with that exponent of 0 just equals 1. So that's one that you just kind of have to remember as a rule. The second example here is x again, but it's raised to the first power. So any number, which x stands, it's a variable standing for any number, if it's raised to the power of 1, it just equals itself. So you see that x to the first power equals x. So again, let's look at our numbers from the first example. 3 to the first power equals 3. 17 to the first power equals 17. And this we can look at because anything, remember when we're dealing with exponents, 3 to the first power just means 3. 3 only shows up one time. If we, for example, had 3 to the second power, that would equal 3 times 3. 3 to the third power equals 3 times 3 times 3. But when it's 3 to the first power, there's only one 3. So this one makes a little bit more sense if you can think about it that way. 3 to the first power is just itself is 3. So any number raised to the first power is 3. So let's write to itself whatever the original base was. All right, so that's to the first power. Our last example is with a negative exponent. So we've got x again, but this time it's to the power of -2. And this actually simplifies. To get rid of the negative, we move it to the denominator. So this right now is x to the -2. That is exactly the same thing as 1 over x to the positive 2 power. So if we had 3 to the -2 power, that would equal, this time it's 1 in the numerator and 3 to the power of +2 in the denominator. In this case, because it's a number, we can actually say, we know that that's equal to 3 times 3, and we can keep simplifying that to 1/9. So anytime you see a negative exponent, you need to get rid of the exponent, and to do that, you flip it down to the denominator. If we had another example, let's do 4 to the -3rd power. We don't want that negative, we want it to be a positive so that we can expand it. So we're going to write a 1 in the numerator, and then in the denominator, we still have the same base 4, but it's now positive. Switch it to positive. And now we know we can write that out. 4 to the 3rd power, 4 cubed, is that. And that is 64. So 1/64. All right, so just real quick, any number to the 0 power is 1. Any number to the first power just equals itself.